Friends, hello, what's going on? I'm still rocking the chicken pox look. Not so fun. Get your shots out there, people. Vaccinate your children. Okay, this stuff is serious. Let's talk about what's coming up this week in the market. Some of us think we may have an okay week in the market. Doesn't seem to be too many bad things happening this week. We say that now, but we'll see. So obviously every week for the past, four weeks at least, it's been something. I mean, there's just every week it's like this person hates that person, tariffs this, tariff that, tariff war. Now it's just, so this week, and there's no Fed, I don't think the Feds aren't talking this week, nothing's happening. So as long as Trumpy Wumpy doesn't come out and say something crazy, which he might. We know how our Trumpy goes here, but we'll see what happens here. So I want to bring a little bit of a different video here, and obviously, right now the theme of the market is tariff wars. I mean, that is the thing. I mean, now China and Canada are going back and forth with their, everybody's like, they're fighting now. So, I mean, it's just, the whole world is like, no, you give me 10, no, you give me 15, no, you give me 30, and that's the way everything is right now. The markets are going, so it's wild out there. But with that too, what is that doing for investors? Well, it's making a lot of deals appear. There's a lot of deals in the market right now. So with a lot of deals in the market, investors should be taking this time to solidify hefty positions in some things that may not be cheap for long. And because obviously we don't know how long this is going to last. This show may continue just to go on here, and the market may just continue to trail down a little bit more, maybe find a bottom here. Maybe we found our bottom, who knows? Maybe not. Maybe we're just entering the storm here and we're going into the center of the eye. I don't know. But with that, let's start with some ETFs. I want to start with some ETFs. Really, I'm gonna go over some stocks, ETFs, about kind of where my mind is, where I'm putting money right now. I'm showing you things like not everything, but majority of what I'm showing you I have money in and am actively putting money into, trying to really strengthen positions in these things. So obviously, I do think one of the number one stocks out there, I'm just going to put this right up front, I think one of the number one stocks out there right now is SoFi. If you're not buying SoFi right now, I think this is going to come back to bite people in the keister, because I think this is one of the number one stocks everyone should be looking at and buying right now. Absolutely 100%. But talking about ETFs, just for a moment, I won't talk about ETFs long, because I know most people are like, ETFs, that's the most boring thing ever. And yes, I get it. Not everyone invests in ETFs, and I get it. I get they're not sexy, they're not fun, they're kind of, people find them boring, but they do serve a purpose and they're good. And the majority of these, I think all but one, I think the new granny one that I have up right here, are pretty high dividend yield ETFs here. The proof is in the pudding with these. Obviously you got Schwab, you got Vanguard, JP. I think JP is monthly too, that JP equity one, and then Fidelity, and then the Granny Schwartz one right there. And that's a brand new one right there. That last one, the Granny Schwartz one, that's one that Tom Lee himself was in cahoots making up. So a lot of these are driven by tech stocks and things like Home Depot, Costco, things like that. But these are literally ETFs that I put in money in every week. These are pretty much my retirement fund. These are my bread and butter ETFs. Pretty much the majority of these right here. These are my top dogs that bring me dividends that I put money into, and that I am relying in heavily in pretty much everything that is in all of these ETFs combined here. Some of them are the same thing. Like there's Nvidia's in a few of these, Home Depot, your big companies, Apple. They're in multiple of these, and there's brothers and sisters to all these. There's Schwab, obviously has a bunch, Fidelity, there's many JP, there's Vanguard, for God's sakes. But these are just the ones that I am putting money into heavily right now. So and actually, I don't think the Vanguard Russell 100, I don't think there's a dividend on that one, but it has like the biggest AI stocks attached to it. If you look inside that one, you're like, holy smokes. But nonetheless, these are going to be ETFs that do really well probably over the next decade, more than not, because of the companies that are in these ETFs right here. essentially they run the world, man. They run the market. So when you look into what's in these, you're going to be like, okay. So why I bring this to your attention, if you're looking for things that have been, broke down a little bit, had a little bit of pushback, and some of these really, they're really not even that far back. Like most of these haven't even taken that much of a beating. They're just, they've sold off $1, $2, $3 at the most. But with that too, they leave a great position for people to start jumping in as much as they can right now. So I've been taking advantage of it 100%. I think, if you're looking to start with ETFs, dividends, hopefully these will give you somewhat of a insight maybe where you want to be. And obviously you can look at the brothers and sisters of these ETFs. They have different ones with different forms of layering with stocks, housing stocks, whatever it be, REITs, all that kind of stuff. So definitely, hopefully this will help someone, because I get a lot of people ask me about ETFs, dividends. Do I invest in those? Absolutely. I do 100%, because, there's things that, yes, I do short investing, I do middle investing, I do long-term investing, I do day trade / weekly trading as well. But at long-term investing, absolutely, I think everyone should do that. You should be building a retirement portfolio. You should be doing something to always, this should be your backup your backup, to always have this right here. This should look, to me, this is somewhat should be like your underbelly, your foundation. Your foundation should be a really big, nice layer of something really strong. And mine are these ETFs, where I have money, I have a strong foundation where if everything else messes up, I know I have this still in a strong layer right here. So that's pretty much how I look at it. So then I'm going to move into right here with the play it safe stocks. So I put this together as the play it safe stocks right here. So what I mean by that is, and there's plenty more I could have put in here. Absolutely, I could have put more in here. But these are stocks right here that fundamentally, these are going to be companies that are going to continue to roll in big numbers, big quarterlies for the next 5 years that we can estimate at this point, that are going to continue to roll up in stock price, control the narrative of where they're at, who they do, what they do as their business, and that are pretty much in the top of their food chain, really. So, you got Salesforce, just, Salesforce been killing it. I mean, just absolutely killing it. I have a buddy that is really like obsessed with this company and puts a lot of money into this company and does very well with the stock. And they've sold off obviously a little bit, and their finances were a little back and forth last year, 2024, but still rolling in lots of money. And then of course you have Alphabet. I put Class C right here. And this, I mean, you can kind of put this into an ETF if you want, the conglomerate of Google, all that, what you want to say right there. But still something else that, I probably should have put that in the ETF thing, but still just a great place to put your money, but somewhere to start a position. And if you're looking for some hefty places to put money into that are going to continue to do well over time, this is going to be for you. And then Nvidia, and of course everyone wants to argue about Nvidia, about where Nvidia is going to end up here, and friends, I think NVIDIA is going to do just fine. I mean, NVIDIA, we're going into a whole new structure, a whole new layer of where NVIDIA can and will go here. And right now, NVIDIA is building warehouses for what they're doing. It is continuing to push their Blackwell chip, their software, everything. I mean, and they're still meeting these quarterlies. They're still meeting them. They're still coming out with unbelievable quarters right now. It's hard to say when this is going to stop. And even if even when they meet expectations, what is that going to look like? Does that mean like people are going to sell out, or are they just going to go, oh, okay, we're still going to hold it. We're still going to buy it. Nvidia is still, it has a lot of money pushed into it. It's in a lot of ETFs. It's in a lot of trust funds. It's in a lot of just a big conglomerate of just companies. I mean, it's just it's in everything right now. It's been shoved into every kind of class funds that you can find out there to put your money into, mutual funds, ETFs, all that's what I'm saying here. So, and then Tesla, and Tesla to me, I think Tesla, I'm one of those people drinking the juice on Tesla. I think Tesla has like a triple effect where it's going to do very well into the future, where obviously, it's Tesla. People say what they want about Tesla. I'm not here to talk about Tesla, the vehicle. I'm just saying Tesla, regardless, is still the king of the crop when it comes to EV market. In that's not going to change. They're about to come out with the Cybertruck update number 2, whatever they're calling it. They've got all this stuff coming out down the line, the robots, the taxi, all that kind of stuff. We're going to see Tesla continue just valuation to go up. And one reason why you're paying so much money for Tesla right now is because it's the what is coming. You're buying price, and it's been like this for the past 6-7 years, where we've been right before that first stock split with Tesla. That was 2 stock splits ago, when we were like, why are we paying $700 a share for Tesla? Is because of what is being priced in years down the road with what's coming. And that's how it's always going to be with Tesla. That's just the way it is with Tesla, 100%. People they're pricing in what's coming, because Tesla hasn't let investors down with that. Really, the last 3-4 years have been a little shady with the stock growth, but the past 6-7 months have been very well. People made very good money, but when all this stuff does to start come up here, with all this stuff that Tesla has coming out here with the updates in the cars, the robots, everything I just talked about, we're gonna see a lot of money increase here with Tesla more than not. So Tesla can easily continue to climb into the next 5 years. And I know a lot of people that are heavy buying Tesla right now because they know what's coming down the road here. And this is considered cheap, as crazy as that sounds here with Tesla. And next is Meta. Meta, wow, it's $6.25 a share. It was, over $700 just, 2-3 weeks ago. But people wonder, is Meta going to have a stock split? More than likely, they're going to be forced into a stock split whenever the market comes back. I imagine when we get the market back, that Meta here will just start to walk itself back up, and it will probably go easily into a high 700, moving into an $800 range. They're going to do a stock split somewhere down the road if it keeps up like this, but they're at the top of what they're doing, and they just are. I remember when they started doing what they were doing with AI tech, all this visual stuff they were doing, just a few years back at this point, people were like, this is the most ridiculous thing. And now it's like what you see a lot with Tesla, with Elon. Elon says, hey, we're gonna make robots, and people go, all right, that's the stupidest thing we've ever heard. And then 2 years later, he's like, we made robots, and people are like, what? When Elon said, hey, we're gonna make electric cars, 15, I don't know, how long has it been now? 15 years? And people went, that's the stupidest thing we've ever heard. And then, a few years later, he was like, we made electric cars. And now, it's just, not that, Mark Zuckerberg is like Elon by any means, but it's one of those things that what I see Meta doing is what Tesla's always done. They make a market. They say, hey, we're gonna make a market here, and people go, okay, well, you let us know. And then other people, like investors, go, we're gonna get involved now. So you've seen the stock slowly rise up here. I remember when Meta just a handful of time ago was like $200-$400, and we were like, man, that seems really high right now to pay that much money for that. And now look where we're at. So this crap could be I don't want to call it crap, but it's ridiculous. It's insane. You're crazy amounts of money, but you're talking about a company that is pushing the limits on what it's doing, and it's achieving it. So it's anything to do with high tech right now is growing at an insane rate right now in stock evaluation. It is crazy. So yeah, that's if you're trying to make a position in Meta before it gets even more expensive, or maybe get caught in a stock split here in the future, maybe short term future, then it may be for you. This may be the time for you. And then Palantir, sweet Palantir. friends, I don't want to talk too much about Palantir, but you know where I'm at with Palantir. I think Palantir obviously is going to continue to climb here. I think the fact that, here's what we know. People will pay 90, 100, 110, 120, past 120 a share price for Palantir. So Palantir is going to have no problem finding its way back up when two things happen. When the market finds its legs again, and Palantir here in 2 months comes out with their Q1 of 25, and it hopefully, more than likely, finds another quarterly for the new year going into a 30, 35, 40% more on what they did with their last quarterly, which was their biggest one at that point. So if Palantir continues this evaluation, beating these quarterlies on these huge evaluations, this is really going to keep driving the price up 100%. This is why people are saying Palantir is going to 2, 3, 4, 500. Some people are saying $1,000. I don't think that's crazy, but after this year, imagine this, and it's okay to dream. It's fun to dream as an investor. You should do it. It's fun to dream. Imagine we go through all of 2025 here with Palantir, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4, at least Q3, because that'll be somewhere towards the end of the year. But, we make it all the way through the year, and Palantir comes out with all these quarterlies that beat expectation, are well over beating at 30, 35% on top of each quarterly. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. Look what, NVIDIA did the past 2 years. Now, of course, two different companies, two different flavors of tech. But, look at this. Palantir's still under $1 billion a quarterly right now. That's crazy youthful thinking. I mean, it's still baby numbers compared to like a lot of these tech companies. You're talking about a tech company that is, not even making $1 billion a quarterly at this point. There's a lot of tech stocks right now that are cheaper than Palantir and are making over $1 billion a quarterly right now. So it's the valuation, just like Tesla. It's the valuation of what is coming. It's the growth rate of how fast Palantir is growing right now. That's why people are willing to pay these prices. And like I said, we already know people are going to pay $120 a share for Palantir, which, I mean, that's mind blowing to me, because 23 months ago, we were paying $7 to $10 a share for Palantir. So this is wild. So friends, those are my safe bets. I think those are pretty much going to be guaranteed. Like, you're going to be fine with those. These are just like the millionaires are buying these. Everyone, these are the ones, they're boring in a sense, because Palantir is in that chain now where it's like, we know they're going to continue to do well. These are companies that are doing very well right now, and they're going to continue to do very well. And friends, I will bring you the wild card set here. So obviously, here's the wild card set, and some of these are more than none, obviously. So I'm not trying to make anybody mad if these are some that you're investing in. I'm not trying to make you mad, for God's sakes. I'm investing in some of these, okay? But these are more the wild cards. These are the ones that were like, they're gonna have an okay year, maybe have a good year, or they should have a good year here. So SoundHound I put first here. SoundHound, from what we're gathering, and I'm very proud of SoundHound, because SoundHound, if you've been with SoundHound here, you've followed the evidence. SoundHound's had a great year in 2024, where it just essentially it got continued to get continuation of just great deals, and then good quarterlies. And then the last quarterly that just came out here to round out 2024 was the biggest they've ever had, brought in so much freaking money here. And they're like, hey, we are headed for a big year here in 2025. So SoundHound should continue this high level of growth here, we're hoping, here in 2025. So SoundHound could easily keep this $9 to $11 position, because it is right now, even through this rough sea that the market's going through right now. SoundHound's staying pretty sturdy. This is pretty amazing. And SoundHound, I think, needs to be taken out of the meme stock conversation 100%. So Jim Cramer, if you're hearing this, Jimmy, no, it's not a meme stock anymore. We're talking about something that's really moving forward here. So listen, when Q1 comes out here with SoundHound and they show that they are continuing this high earnings, this is going to bring SoundHound back into that 15, 20, I don't know if I'm going to say 20, but it'll solidify this $8 to $15 position that I believe SoundHound can easily achieve this year here. So, and they're still getting deals. That's the crazy part. Like, SoundHound's getting very popular. So that's why, I wouldn't say that SoundHound has found like a place where it's just going to sit. We could easily, when this market starts to show like signs of life again, whenever that's going to be here, because no one knows, SoundHound could easily start to sneak its way right back up into this teen range. So I think this is going to be a very good play for a lot of people here this year, especially if you're like in at the $2, $3, $4, $5 position right now. You're sitting in a very, very nice position. Big Bear. I don't want to talk about Big Bear too long because I've talked so much about Big Bear. You guys are sick of hearing me talk about Big Bear. So obviously Big Bear is my wild card of 2025 here. Big Bear is in a position where it needs, what does it need? It just came off those quarterlies here. They were actually good quarterlies. They didn't meet expectations, but we knew they were. I knew they weren't going to. That's why I told people, I was like, do not expect them to do well here because more than likely they're not going to. There's no evidence to show that Big Bear is going to achieve good quarterlies. Good quarterlies in the sense of like face melting. I knew these weren't going to be SoundHound quarterlies. There was no way. There wasn't enough proof that we were seeing for that to happen. So, and when like I saw people comment like, you led people down the wrong road with Big Bear. I was like, I told everybody Big Bear it's not going to come out with good quarterlies. I told everybody it's a wild card of 2024 and 2025 here. I was like, what are you talking about? And then people get mad when I say that about Big Bear, when I'm like, Big Bear is a wild card still, and I'm investing in Big Bear here. Like, I'm telling you, like, listen, there's no guarantee here, but the upside to that, why I'm investing in Big Bear here is because if Big Bear captures another big deal here, like a government contract deal, which is very possible, or just some kind of random big deal here, it's going to change the growth pattern of where Big Bear is headed to. And I suspect Q1, Q2 could be one of their biggest earnings that they've ever had here, because we're going to start to see these big contracts start compounding on top of each other, like a lot like what we saw here with Palantir a few years ago, where we just started to see these deals gradually start to compound on top of each other, and we were like, okay, 300 million, 400, 500 million, what is that quarterly? So, that's kind of what we're looking for. Imagine if Big Bear just got another government contract, for $200, $300, $400 million. That would change the trajectory of Big Bear. It'd be a U-turn. It'd be like, holy freaking smoke. And then people would be back in and be like, okay, what is it? Anyway, friends, that's not to everyone. For the ones that believe in Big Bear and get what I'm saying here with Big Bear, listen to me talk about Big Bear. We're all in this together. I get it, but obviously there's people that are they want fast money, and that's not always going to be the case with a lot of stocks here. But Big Bear, yes, we're all watching Big Bear. I believe that Big Bear could have a good year here, and that's why I'm watching it here, and that's why it's a wild card, because it could come out with one big deal here to solidify these last few that it's gotten, and it could change things dramatically. Nimbus is another growing fast AI company that's grew real fast here, because 2024 was a really good year for it, with a lot of big deals, a lot of good earnings, and I do believe that when the market gets back up here, like many other stocks I've talked about, Nimbus will find its way back up too. And I think it's going to have a really good year here if they continue into this where they're at right now with the valuation. Tempest AI. Tempest AI is one of my it's like my soap opera stock right now. I just love watching it because it's got so much drama around it because of Nancy, now Kathy Wood's involved in it. Like I've said before, I think Tempest has there's something out there that we don't know about yet. There's a reason why Nancy put so much of a bet on this stock, and it's public now, we know about it, and I think the majority of people that still have money wrapped up in Tempest have it wrapped up in Tempest just because of Nancy and now Kathy Woods and all this kind of stuff. So I I would be highly surprised to see Tempest not to continue to go up in price when the market comes back. I think generally what the market is going to do here when it does find its bottom, it finds a safe spot, even if it's for a moment here, let's say this week, the market starts to come back this week a little bit, we're going to see things start to trail back up a little bit because investors already have their eyes on stocks. We already know which ones we're looking at. We know which ones we can make money off of. We know which ones we can make moves off of. So Tempest, I think, is still very much in the sights of a lot of investors, and they're still going to push it up. It's a wild card of a play because there's something going on there. I don't want to say it's like Nvidia or anything, for God's sakes, but there is something that they have acquired, they have done here. And obviously there's a lot to say with them with healthcare, AI, all that kind of stuff, obviously. But I think Nancy knows something that a lot of us don't know too, and it's going to come out here soon. And then let's talk about the next one right there, Core. So Core being around this $7 position right now, a stock that was at, what that thing made it up to like $19 there a moment ago. So this is one of the quantum computing stocks. And quantum computing stocks, some of them have taken a huge beating, some of them have kept okay levels, but I do wonder about a lot of this quantum computing. There's such an argument right now with quantum computing stocks, quantum computing in general, where a lot of people are going, it's the future of AI, and then people are going, it's overrated, no, it's not going to do much, we don't need it. So there's the tech side of it, and that's not my argument. I am on the investor side of it, where I go like, okay, which one of these companies is actually producing fruit, quarterlies, has money, deals, and there's a lot to choose from. I put this one because this one's very popular. This is the one that people are really watching right now, and a lot of big investors are putting money into it. So, there's something to be said about that. So, quantum computing stocks, I think they're going to, I don't know that quantum computing stocks are going to do much this year. I thought they were, but I think that narrative is more along the lines of more like more software-driven tech stocks right now. I think that's what it is. Quantum computing, I think there's going to be a place for it. I just don't know that it's going to be this year. It's not as big a narrative as I thought it was going to be here, at least at the moment. But I still think they're going to do well this year, but they're not going to control the market this year. I don't think this is the year where they're going to control the market whatsoever. And then NU Holdings banking company situation here. Look this company up. Very interesting. A lot of my buddies have been talking about this company, been watching it here for a month or two. And, quarterlies, little iffy, but they've been getting deals. They've been acquiring contracts. A lot of us seem to think that this is going to be a very fast-growing company in the next, handful of years. Very cheap right now, taking a little bit of damage with the rest of the market, but still, nonetheless, this is a company that I would look into. I'm not telling you to buy it. I would just look into it right now. It's very interesting, very, very interesting. So NU Holdings. Check them out, and then I'll see who responds to it, and then maybe I'll make a video on it. But it's a little bit of a gold nugget stock out there that a lot of us are talking about here. So let me you guys think about that. And then super microcomputer. That's like my Tempest right there. It's another soap opera stock right now. I'm curious to see what it's going to do this year. They made it with that paperwork, thank God, and we're going to see what happens this year and going into next year. There's a lot of big things that are supposed to happen with this stock, so we're going to see if they actually can prove that they're making a lot of money like they say they are, if they can continue to pull off these evaluations, what they're doing, and I'm curious. Are we going to stay at this $30 position? Which, if super microcomputers with the market downtrend, if it's held this $38 position, I think that's a clear indication that the stock more than likely is going to start to trail back up here when we see the market kind of come back here. I think this is going to be a very volatile stock this year, 100%. I think it's going to be very pushed around with investors, 100%. There's nothing going to be organic about the stock whatsoever. It's going to be pushed around by investors. Manipulated is the right word. So, friends, listen, that is what I have to say about these stocks. I wish all of you the best of luck. I hope that video is not too boring for for anybody. I just thought I'd do something a little different and have some fun. Friends, take care of yourself. I would talk to you soon. And tomorrow's Monday. Yeah. And it's daylight saving times. God, I don't know how I'm going to get these kids to bed tonight. Take care of yourself, friends. Bye-bye.